What's up, guys? Chimp here with another quick market update. I'm going to make this one a little bit more brief than usual since I'm recording these a little bit more frequently. But here we are. We pumped to 113.5, another new all-time high. And the question is, where are we sitting in terms of the market? And I mentioned this last time, but in my opinion, crypto tends to go through these like 2 or 3 month periods where you get this sort of consolidation or like push in, like the trend pushes in one direction and it pushes and pushes and pushes until like there's no more selling or no more buying, and then it breaks and it hard reverses in the other direction. And we saw that at the lows. Like the market pushed, and ultimately it ended up running out of sellers and ended up pumping. And now we've sort of been in this 2 month plus range where we've been going up, we've been getting like shallower and shallower dips. Like, we had one SFP, but basically like you're getting no dips. And I think like this is my gut feeling, which is, and just anecdotally talking to people, like I think you had a lot of people waiting for dips, like especially like when Bitcoin was at 108. Like you have people waiting for a dip to 102 or whatever, and it just doesn't materialize. And those people are now like FOMOing in, and I'll show you evidence from open interest. And obviously, like I think they're also FOMOing heavily into alts. Like look at Pengu, look at ETH BTC, right? Like look at all these alts across the board. And so I think like the sort of the narrative in my mind for what's going on. And again, I could be wrong. Like the bullish argument would be like, hey, this thing's consolidating and it's about to break up. But the sort of my thought process here is that we've had this 2 or 3 month range. Like people have been conditioned to buy every small dip. People have been conditioned to um, basically like expect this new paradigm where we're going to 150, 200, 250. Like personally, I think even if we pump, like our upside is very capped to like 118, 120, maybe 125. So like the risk reward here is actually very asymmetric to the downside. But again, like you're seeing a lot of speculative behavior, and I'll show you that in a second. Like open interest rocketing, alts going crazy, and in the meantime, like you actually have ETF flow slowing, which I'll show you right now. Like again, it's a sample size of 3 days, but like you would expect yesterday when we make a new all-time high, like ETF flows would be a bit more than 200 million, and plus treasuries are slowing down, right? And let me just make a brief comment about the ETF flows, which is I remember back in February, March, we had a long period of negative ETF flows, and I'll sort of just highlight it. It was something around this range where like ETF flows were consistently negative. But I remember at the lows, like when we would dump to 74, ETFs didn't really outflow. And so I remember looking at that and thinking like, okay, like all the exogenous sell pressure is actually gone. Like probably what's going on is crypto people just panic selling. And I feel like it's a little bit of the same in reverse, right? Like treasuries we know are slowing down. Um, Saylor announced like a $4 billion STRD ATM, but like I have serious doubts that he's going to be able to fill even a fraction of that because he hasn't been able to fill much of these preferred ATMs. And we see ETF flows again, just a sample size of 3, but it's just odd that like, and we'll see what the number is today, but it's odd that for Bitcoin being as strong as it is, these flows are so weak. And what that suggests to me is that it's crypto native people leveraging up, going haywire, and I think that makes the market very vulnerable. I'm just going to show you a couple things here, and then I'm going to call it just because I want to keep this brief. Again, like Binance Open Interest up 13,000 units in like 36 hours. Bybit Open Interest up 6,000 units in the last 36 hours. So a lot of leveraging taking place. Global open interest has nearly doubled from the lows, from 44 to 81 billion. Granted, it's lower than what it was in December, but December, you had like shit like Doge and all this other crap going absolutely haywire. So like leverage in the system is like going nuts, right? Like even in June, it was just 65, right? So like to me, this is like classic sign of leverage building up. And you could see that with like some of these apes on Hyperliquids. This is this Trader Aguila guy. He's been longing his longs. Like he's up 13 million. But look at his lick, 108.4. Like he's paid $600,000 in funding. So you have like, and again, I mentioned this previously, like this is a symptom. He's not the problem. He's a symptom of a market that's very frothy, in my opinion. And so, look, I remain very cautious and pessimistic. because I think your risk reward here is so skewed. Like I think upside is pretty limited. Again, 120, 125. But what happens if structure starts to break? Like market starts going down, ETF flows aren't there to support it, the treasury buying slows down. You have all these people who aped at the top who are now leveraged. Like you could get a situation, in my opinion, where you sort of get this double flush. Like you get one flush, people try to buy the dip, and then you flush again. And that's sort of like what I think is the highest likelihood outcome. Obviously, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I just wanted to keep this brief. Let's see what happens. Definitely won't be able to record an update tomorrow or Saturday, but Sunday, if the market's moved a bunch, we'll record an update and we'll talk about it more then. But anyways, guys, until next time, take care.